In my most recent video, I talked about the possible WrestleMania main event that we're going to end up getting between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. And one of the things that I mentioned that I was most excited to see unfold was who was Paul Heyman going to pick? Obviously, it's going to be between either Roman Reigns or CM Punk, but when Roman Reigns was destroying Seth Rollins outside of the Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, there was a moment when CM Punk was trying to gather himself in the ring and he was being comforted by Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns saw this and did not like it one bit, so he went in there, delivered a spear, and that was it. And the look on Paul Heyman's face when Roman was getting ready to deliver the spear, Paul Heyman looked legitimately terrified. The purpose of this video is to try to guess and see who Paul Heyman ends up joining in the end. Before we get too far ahead in the video, I do want to encourage you, if you are a WWE fan, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. I only say that because if you're a WWE fan, that's all we post on this channel is WWE related content. Again, the whole reason why I'm making a video on this is because I'm legitimately interested in this part of the story between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. And I feel like that from this feud, we can get a Seth Rollins
This was on me. This is on me.
versus CM Punk feud and have it being for Paul Heyman. I know you're thinking of the Paul Heyman on a pole match. I wasn't gonna go there, but I know that's where the wrestling community's minds usually go with this type of feud, so sure, whatever. Paul Heyman on a pole match. But in all seriousness, I am legitimately interested in that part of this story. Because at this point, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman have been working together for about 5 years now. And at this point, it feels kind of weird when Roman Reigns is without Paul Heyman, and it feels weird when Paul Heyman is without Roman Reigns. Remember how weird it felt after WrestleMania 40 and Roman Reigns left and Paul Heyman was working with the new bloodline, Solo, the Tongas, Jacob Fatu? Remember just how weird that felt in the very beginning? And considering Paul Heyman only managed CM Punk for about a year, give or take, I more associate Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns. But we do know that there is still a really strong friendship between Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Remember when Paul Heyman was terrified of the new bloodline and Jacob Fatu specifically, who was the one guy that he asked for help? CM Punk. When the Bloodline needed one last member for their War Games match, who did they call? CM Punk. And who orchestrated it all? Paul Heyman. And let's not forget the all-important favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk. Again, I said it in the last video, I really hope that WWE did not scrap that idea because I genuinely think that they could build a cool story around just that favor alone. So maybe it's a scenario where the favor comes into play and we end up getting Paul Heyman and CM Punk together again. Going back to the Roman Reigns-Paul Heyman relationship, think of what Roman Reigns accomplished with Paul Heyman. Obviously, we saw him go into God mode and become one of the most dominant WWE superstars that we have ever seen. Paul Heyman legitimately, in my opinion, changed Roman Reigns' career. Because without Paul Heyman, I don't know if Roman Reigns gets to the tribal chief, the OTC level that he is at. And on the flip side, CM Punk is CM Punk at the end of the day. CM Punk was pretty much already established by time Paul Heyman came along. So when you're looking, if you want to judge by history, I'm sorry, but you gotta go with Roman Reigns. Not only was Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns longer, but think of the success that Roman Reigns had with Paul Heyman. Not saying that CM Punk did not have a successful tenure with Paul Heyman, but it was not on the level of Roman Reigns, in my opinion. And again, one thing that is important to note is that we are comparing 5 years to 1 year. So again, looking at the possibility of what should be one of the best WrestleMania matches, a surefire main event match between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, the one thing that I really do think that we can get from this is a feud between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, with it being over Paul Heyman. And yes, I understand that idea sounds insane to think about, but it's Paul Heyman. You know Paul Heyman is going to go all out to try to tell the best story that those three guys can. And one thing that I did mention in my last video was the fact that there really isn't a ton of history to go off of between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. This could be the start of what could be a fantastic feud. CM Punk, obviously one of the top mic workers of all time in WWE history. Roman Reigns has drastically improved since he aligned with Paul Heyman. Tribal Chief OTC, your Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, is completely different from the big dog Roman Reigns that we once had. And if we get the Roman Reigns that we got when he was at his peak, going up against CM Punk, that in itself could be a feud that very well could be feud of the year when it's all said and done. So this is where I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think Paul Heyman is going to choose? Roman Reigns or CM Punk? Let me know why you think he is going to choose either Roman Reigns or CM Punk, and let me know if you would be down for a feud between Roman Reigns and CM Punk involving Paul Heyman. As always, let me know that stuff down below in the comments. And while you're down there, swing by the description and click the Linktree link. That link will take you to all of the social medias for this channel, and I do suggest going and checking out our X page. Besides YouTube, I am most active over on X. We do updates for Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and the PLEs. Now, I will say I may not always be available for Friday Night SmackDown, and I may end up missing some of the PLEs, but I'm always going to be available for Monday Night Raw, providing something unforeseen doesn't come up. Which, if it does, I'll let you know on X. My main goal with the X page is to have a place for wrestling fans to go and talk about wrestling. Let's not kid ourselves. Wrestling is better when you watch with a group of people. And it's better to talk about with people who actually know WWE and know pro wrestling in general. And if you're like me, you don't have a lot of people to talk to about pro wrestling and WWE, so if you are like me and you're looking for a place to go and talk about wrestling with wrestling fans, consider stopping by on an episode of Monday Night Raw, join in the conversation, and maybe it's for you at the end of the day. With all that said and done, that is going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, because both are free and both help out the channel a lot. And if you have made it to this point of the video, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to watch these videos here. So again, that's going to do it for this video here. Stay tuned for more wrestling content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.